Beer here back in the Fantasy Bar. Friday is here. That means NBA. 6 of my favorite plays ready for you to go fresh off the tap on FanDuel and DraftKings, including my favorite value play on the slate, under 4,000 on DraftKings, a spot that we definitely want to target with a big man tonight. Some mid-range plays I am eyeing up, and my favorite play on the entire slate. Who we talking about? Only one way to find out. It's time to belly up to the Fantasy Bar. Welcome in, guys. Friday edition, Beers Daily Fantasy Six-Pack, talking some NBA. 6 of my favorite plays ready for you to go on FanDuel and DraftKings. Thank you, as always, for stopping by and hanging out in the Fantasy Bar. Before we get into the plays, first thing, most important thing, click that thumbs up button. That is the tip jar here in the Fantasy Bar, so greatly appreciate that. Helps us out tremendously over on YouTube, and that continues to help us bring you these free videos each and every week, talking NBA and NFL right now. Speaking of NFL, make sure you check out my Week 8 NFL six-pack. That is out on YouTube, so go check that out. And my Pints and Picks videos with 2 of my favorite NFL bets coming up later today. So get that notification bell set, subscribe to the channel. Don't miss any of the content here from the Fantasy Bar. All right, NBA, not many injuries here to deal with tonight, but a couple situations we can certainly capitalize on. Let's get into the plays. Let's start in the mid-range at point guard, shooting guard with Dennis Schroder of Toronto. So new home for Schroder, and I think this is going to be a good fit for him with Toronto, and it really showed on opening night. So yes, a one-game sample, but Fred VanVleet is gone. He is now in Houston. This team going to need offense. We had Scotty Barnes hit for us the other night. Obviously, Siakam a big piece there, but Schroder going to be a big part of what they do as well, and that showed against Minnesota. Team high, 22 points, tied Siakam with a team high 17 shot attempts. It's a guy that can do a lot. Doesn't necessarily need to score to get us there. When he is scoring, that's when we're going to see the high outputs like we saw against the T-Wolves. Now, this matchup, not ideal. Chicago pretty good defensively, but I think all that does is lead to some lower ownership in GPPs. Remember, we mentioned this guy can get it done in a variety of ways. So even in a tough matchup, can get us there with some of the ancillary stats to be scoring. And once again, going to be one of the better values in the mid-range. Dennis Schroder leading us off tonight against the Chicago Bulls. All right, up next, one of my favorite matchups to target. That is big men against the Charlotte Hornets, and we are going with power forward center Isaiah Stewart. I know a lot of you guys thought we were going to go with Jalen Duren. I have no issues with that here, but hear me out here with Isaiah Stewart. First of all, a little bit cheaper. Second of all, Jalen Duren, kind of that shiny new toy. Had a great rookie season, great debut on opening night, and Stewart going to go overshadowed here. Had just as good of a game as did Jalen Duren. Now let's talk about Charlotte. We know second most points per game allowed to centers last season, give up a ton of rebounds, led the league in that category. Also, most fantasy points allowed to this position. Stewart, big 14-point, 14-rebound debut against the Miami Heat, which is obviously a much better interior dealing with Bam Adebayo than what he's going to see tonight with the Charlotte Hornets. We also get some important positional flexibility here with Isaiah Stewart. Duren center eligible. Stewart gives us power forward and center eligibility. So hell, I don't hate playing them both here in this matchup. But I just think Stewart just as good of an option as Duren. He's cheaper and the ownership will be much lower here. Both guys certainly in play tonight against this terrible Charlotte interior. All right, point guard up next. We are rolling with Chris Paul of Golden State. Now, this one not going to be sneaky. He was very highly owned on opening night, had a good game. A lot of people can go back to the well here, but what a fit this looks to be. And again, one game sample here, but certainly looks like he's going to fit in well with this Golden State offense. We know they're going to put points on the board, feeding the ball to Steph Curry and company, getting points on his own as well. Really saw him get more aggressive in the second half of that game. And the price still remains way too low on Chris Paul. Yes, it jumped up. I don't think it jumped up nearly high enough. So let's get in the buy low opportunities while we can here. And I really love this matchup. Not only is it a high total game, Chris Paul dominated this Sacramento team last season, averaging 16 points, 16 assists over 3 games, good for almost 50 DraftKings points per game. So cash games, I think Chris Paul, one of the first guys you plug in your lineups. Even in tournaments, we got a lot more games here tonight, so ownership shouldn't be too crazy. We'll find you some lower owned spots here. Chris Paul, my favorite point guard here for Friday night. All right, let's get some correlation on the other side of that game at small forward, power forward with Keegan Murray of Sacramento. Now, this game, obviously a game stackable, 239.5 point total here. And look, I love Sabonis, I love Fox, I love Steph Curry as much as the next guy. But when I can get a cheap piece from a game like this and in a part of a stack or not, Murray certainly stands out as a guy I want to get into my lineups tonight. Can give you contributions like we talked about with Dennis Schroder across the entire stat sheet, hit every single category on opening night here. And for the Warriors, no Draymond Green, huge blow to their defense. Likely would have spent most of his time on Sabonis, but the point is, overall, the Golden State defense takes a hit here. I think we get a lot of scoring in this one, as that total indicates. I think we get some fireworks in Keegan Murray, a guy I'm expecting to take a big leap in his second year. Get him in those lineups here on Friday night. All right, let's talk some value next with my favorite value play at power forward center, Day'Ron Sharpe of Brooklyn. So like we talked about in our intro video, and go check that out. Each and every day we do a video. We'll also have an accompanying intro video, which will give you a recap of the previous day's video, some injury situations we are looking on, along with a preview who we're looking at for the slate. Day'Ron Sharpe, a guy that likely steps into the starting lineup here. No Nick Claxton tonight against the Dallas Mavericks. So Sharpe, really a great value. Anytime he's been given minutes, he's generally been very productive. In fact, each of the last 6 times he's been in the starting lineup, this guy has pulled down 8 or more rebounds. Dallas was decent against centers fantasy point wise, but you look at some of the bodies, they're very undersized. I think Sharpe going to be able to dominate the post, give you that 10 plus rebounds we are looking for, along with a potential double-double, which should smash this $3,300 DraftKings salary. All right, it's time. Take a look at my favorite play for Friday night. Before we do that, let's continue our Beast of the Night contest. Easy to play. All you got to do, hit that thumbs up button, then head to the comment section and guess fantasy points on DraftKings for my Beast of the Night. Whoever has the closest guess, we're going to give you a free week of RotoGrinders Premium. All right, let's wrap this baby up with my favorite play for Friday night. No mass, Beast of the Night. All right, Beast time. We've saved you in a lot of spots. We're going to spend up here at the Beast point guard, shooting guard, Donovan Mitchell, tonight's Beast of the Night. So no Jared Allen once again here tonight for the Cleveland Cavaliers, and Darius Garland questionable here tonight. We'll see what they do with him, but with both those guys off the floor and usage already pretty high for Donovan Mitchell, about a 2.5% usage bump is nothing to sneeze at. Going to be even more on his plate offensively, especially if Garland misses this game. And even if Garland's in, still love Donovan Mitchell in this spot. OKC, bottom 10 in fantasy points allowed to both point guards and shooting guards. Should be a fun battle. SGA, Donovan Mitchell, I'm here for it. I think Donovan Mitchell goes over 50 fantasy points. Hell, let's call for 60. I think he has a massive game, guys. Donovan Mitchell, easily my favorite play on the board in tonight's Beast of the Night. All right, guys, that'll do it for our Friday night NBA six-pack. If you have any comments, questions, or feedback, hit me up in that comment section right below the video. Don't forget, fantasy points for Donovan Mitchell on DraftKings for your shot at some free RotoGrinders Premium. Thumbs up button, hit that notification bell, and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. For RotoGrinders.com, I am Beer saying salut, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out and watching the video. Best of luck in the NBA tonight. Reminder, my NFL six-pack is out. Pints and Picks coming out later today. Thank you again for all of your support. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week.
Hey, thanks for checking out our videos. If you want more expert advice on DraftKings, FanDuel, or any other daily fantasy sports, make sure you check out the current videos playlist